Now, most of you already know that the traveling and leisure industry is one of the industries which were seriously hurt by the pandemic, of course, the pandemic we experienced from 2020 or from around March of 2020. Of course, in South Africa, countries all over the world were forced to go into hard lockdown where everyone was restricted from traveling. You could not go to hotels, you could not travel maybe with your family to go to a holiday destination due to the travel restrictions. Now, this is one of the things that obviously hurt this traveling and leisure industry, and we saw, of course, stocks or companies or shares in this industry dropping sharply. Before the pandemic, we had stocks like City Lodge, which were trading at massive high prices, stocks like Sun International, which were trading at high share prices. And because of the pandemic, because of the restrictions, traveling restrictions, we saw most of these stocks dropping sharply, which resulted in stocks like Sun International, I remember very well, going to even hit 8 rands per share, which was so bad, especially knowing of how strong this company was. Now, most of you will know that I've been following for some time to say that sometimes last year I did a video where I was indicating that I was going to add Sun International in my holdings or in my stock market holding, because I believe that the era where we saw or we were seeing this industry being impacted is gone. And the reason why is because most countries have opened up their tourists to tourists. They've opened up this, of course, traveling and leisure industry to tourists to come and visit their countries, including our very own country, South Africa. Tourists are coming in and going out. Everything is running smooth. Those hard lockdowns we were seeing back in 2020, a bit of 2021, they are gone, meaning that this is an industry, or we are finding ourselves sitting with this industry, which according to me, it was just said to recover anyways. Now, yesterday, this stock Sun International finished the day up over 4.65%, which was obviously brought or driven by obviously the kind of earnings or the kind of financial results they announced for the period which ended in December of 2022. Now, as I've said, this is a company that I did a video when I was buying it and owning it for the second time, because the first time I think I had bought this stock when it was trading around 8 rands, 10 rands, then sold it at around 15 rands per share. Now, the video I did late last year, it was when I was buying this stock when it was trading over 30 rands per share. Ever since I added, this is one of the stocks in my ZAR portfolio that has been sort of like doing well, because as seen on the screen, notice that on this stock I am currently up over 5.8%, which is something that is not bad at all. Now, the recovery, as I've said, which we saw onto Sun International finishing the day up over 4.6%, came about when we saw Sun International reporting some good earnings or very good financial results, which obviously it showed that they are back in pre-COVID levels when it comes to the revenues that they are generating, or the revenues they generated for the year 2022, which is something that is amazing, because this then just means that we are seeing Sun International sort of like generating the kind of revenues they were generating annually before the pandemic started, which is something that is incredible. Right now, before we forget the house rules, you already know that this video is just an entertainment video and not a professional financial advice video. And I really appreciate if you can just hit the likes button if you are enjoying the content that I'm giving you about Sun International and why is it we saw Sun International finishing the day up over 4.6%. So if you are enjoying this content, kindly give me a thumbs up, as it also helps with YouTube's algorithm. If you have not subscribed, please also consider subscribing, because on this channel we are all about the stock market, and both locally and internationally. And this, of course, if stock market is your niche, or if you have been wanting to buy shares and you don't know probably some of the companies, how you research these companies, then do consider hitting that subscribe button and click that notification bell so that at least you get notified, because on this channel I tell you specifically why I'm bullish or why I'm going long in some of the stocks. Why is it that I own company like Sun International, and where do I believe they will go in the near future? So if stock market, or if you've been wanting to know what is it that you probably need to look at before you decide into buying a stock. Why am I holding certain stocks, or why do I have certain stocks in my portfolio? Then this is the channel for you. Do the right thing and hit that subscribe button and click the notification bell. So without a waste of time, yes, Sun International yesterday finished the day up over 4.6%, which of course resulted in, of course, my Sun International holdings to currently sit at over 5.8%. Now, as I've said, this is a stock that obviously I bought sometimes late last year, which of course when I bought this stock, I did do a video for you guys and show you and tell you why I am buying this stock once again, as I believe that of course the recovery was upon us, since obviously most countries, like I said in the beginning of this video, they've opened up, or those hard lockdowns are no more longer there. Traveling restrictions are not there, meaning that companies in the traveling and leisure industry will definitely, or are still set to recover. Now, one of the things that obviously on Sun International's financials we saw for the period which ended in, of course, or for the year 2022, they reported an 11.3 billion rands income for the full year, which was a 44% increase from the income they had generated for the year 2021. This is something that I personally believe that it's a good thing. I mean, seeing a growth in income of 44%, it is something that obviously it is quite remarkable. Now, of course, one of the things that I indicated or I were discussing is that Sun International obviously saw their income generation going back to around pre-COVID levels, which is something that is that you must note, or something that is good, right? So this is, as you know, screen, something that is incredible and something that makes me to remain strong long into Sun International, because it looks like, yeah, this company is doing really well. And one of the things which obviously, before we continue, I liked about Sun International is that last year, you will know that Sun International started paying dividends once again. I mean, in 2022, those of you that own Sun International, you probably received some good dividends also from this stock, which is something that is incredible, because dividend is like an appreciation of a company thanking you for owning their shares. So this is like some extra money, or over and above extra money that you get from the returns that obviously you generate from a stock. So Sun International, it is a company that right now it continues, or even this year they will be paying out also dividends. So those of you that own this company are still going to get dividends even this year, which is something that obviously it's good, especially to also those that of course like dividend paying stocks. So this is a stock that not only is it set to do very well, or it is doing well in terms of the maybe share price, but it is also a good stock to own if you are a dividend guy. So I'm very excited, or I was excited seeing Sun International, of course, finishing the day up over 4.6% yesterday, especially looking at the fact that most stocks in South Africa are plummeting, of course, due to the current economic conditions, due to, of course, the headwinds or the issues we have as a country, or in a country like load shedding, which is not hurting, of course, the consumers, but hurting also the companies we invest in, or companies which are publicly listed in the Johannesburg Stock Exchange, which of course we invest in. So Sun International continuing doing well regardless of course the current economic condition, which is something that obviously must just show you of what kind of a quality stock Sun International is. Now, Sun International also report a group's EBITDA margin of around 29.3%, which was again better than the group's EBITDA margin for 2019. And 2019, this is pre-COVID, right? So they reported even a way better EBITDA margin than the EBITDA margin they reported before the pandemic, which is something that is incredible and something that is quite remarkable, especially looking at the fact that this company is doing this regardless, once again, of the economic conditions, regardless of the issues that we might be facing as a country, which is something that obviously makes me to be excited about owning this stock. Right now, for the headline earnings per share, they reported a 439 cents per share headline earnings, which was better than the 44 cents which they had reported in the previous of course 2021 year, which is something that again it is quite incredible. And this is something that must just show you that Sun International continues to become more and more profitable, as you will know that earnings per share tells you the profitability of a company or of a stock you own. So the fact that we are seeing their headline earnings per share, or we saw their headline earnings per share growing or increasing to 439 cents from the 44 cents they had previously announced, it is something that makes me to be really excited about owning this company, Sun International. Now, another thing which I really liked about their earnings is that their South African total debt declined or dropped by 488 million, and now the South African debt is currently sitting at 5.9 billion rand, and this excludes the lease liabilities, which is something that is incredible, because this then means that, of course, this debt of 5.9 billion, it is 1.88 times the group's adjusted EBITDA of 3.3 billion, which is something that, again, it is something that must just show you that obviously they can easily cover this debt within a period of 2 years. When we look, of course, their EBITDA margin of 3.3 billion, which they reported in 2022, you can see that this is a company that can manage to be able to pay this debt of 5.9 billion within a period of 2 years, which is something that is incredible, because we know that obviously the debt which they have, they can easily pay it from the revenues which they can generate within 2 years. So it is always good to see Sun International reporting this kind of strong financials. Now, as I've said, last year Sun International also started paying out, or also resumed paying out dividends. As you know that this stock, I think the last time they had paid dividends to their shareholders was back in 2016. So last year they resumed paying their dividends, which obviously they paid a total dividend of around 329 cents per share, which obviously the final dividend was around 2.41 cents per share. So this, like I said, to those of you, or to some of you that are maybe more into dividend, we will definitely like this, because I know there are people who prefer buying stocks that pays out dividends rather than maybe, of course, buying stocks for gains. There are those that buy stocks for dividends, which obviously that's a topic for another day. But yes, if you are a dividend investor, or if you like dividends, this is a stock that also pays out dividend, and they paid a dividend of around 329 cents per share, which obviously the final dividend was 241 cents per share in 2022, which is something that is incredible, and something that obviously, also, though I'm not a dividend guy, I'm excited to know that owning these stocks will I'm excited to know that owning this stock will get me to see some good dividend on it. Otherwise, with all that, guys, I just thought I'd just give you this quick update as to why is it we saw Sun International finishing the day up over 4.6%, which was a result, or it came as a result of their good earnings, or a good 2022 financial results, which of course they announced 2 days ago. So I'm really excited owning this stock, and obviously if we see, or if I see some drop onto this stock, I'm definitely going to load the boat, increase my holdings onto this stock, because I believe that the traveling and leisure industry is one of the industries which, provided that we don't go into hard lockdown, it is just set for good, or for some good recoveries. Otherwise, with all that, I make tons and tons of stock market investing videos, and if you think that this video was amazing, please don't forget to hit the like button, comment, and subscribe. And once you subscribe, don't forget to hit or click that notification bell, so that at least you get notified by YouTube every time I drop a new content. Otherwise, that's all from me, and I wish you nothing but the best in your stock market investing journey, and God bless you all.